My YouTube analytics says 99.9% of my viewers do not subscribe. Please subscribe and share for more videos. Back when I was in high school, there was a locker on the 3rd floor that everyone whispered about. Locker 333. They said it was cursed, that strange things happened around it. I didn't believe in all that nonsense, but curiosity got the best of me one evening. I found myself standing in front of locker 333, the metal cool to the touch. As I reached out to open it, a sudden gust of wind swept through the hallway, rattling the lockers around me. I hesitated, but then I twisted the lock and swung the door open. Inside, there was nothing unusual. Just a few books and a jacket hanging there. But as I started to close the door, I caught a glimpse of a reflection in the metal. A pale face with hollow eyes, staring right at me. I stumbled back, heart pounding, and looked again. The reflection was gone. Laughing at my own fear, I closed the locker and walked away, chalking it up to my imagination. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. I woke up in a cold sweat, convinced I heard whispers in the darkness. And then, a soft tapping sound, coming from my closet. I turned on the light and my heart stopped. There, in the corner of my room, was the locker door. Slightly ajar. I couldn't believe my eyes. I slammed it shut and locked it again, but the tapping continued, now coming from inside the locker itself. I spent the rest of the night on the couch, the sound echoing in my ears. From that day on, I avoided the 3rd floor and locker 333. But sometimes, late at night, I swear I can still hear that faint tapping. A reminder that some secrets are best left alone. Years passed, and the memory of locker 333 haunted me. I moved on to college, made new friends, and tried to put the eerie encounter behind me. But deep down, I knew that I had unlocked something sinister that night, something that refused to be forgotten. One summer, I decided to visit my old high school. It had been years, and I wanted to see how much had changed. The school was quiet, the halls empty. Memories flooded back as I walked past familiar classrooms and lockers, each step echoing in the silence. Curiosity gnawed at me as I approached the 3rd floor hallway. I couldn't resist the urge to see locker 333 again. I turned to the corner, and there it was, standing as silent and ominous as ever. I hesitated, the memories of that night flooding back. But I couldn't let fear control me. With trembling hands, I unlocked the locker and swung it open. Inside, the same old books and jacket greeted me, just as I remembered. Relief washed over me, and I chuckled at my own paranoia. Maybe it was just a bizarre coincidence that night. I reached inside the locker to touch the jacket, and that's when it happened. The jacket felt cold, unnaturally cold, as if it had been stored in a freezer. Panic surged through me, and I tried to pull my hand back, but it was stuck. It was as if something inside the locker had a grip on me. Then, the reflection appeared in the metal door once more. That same pale face with hollow eyes, now contorted into a malevolent grin. I screamed and yanked my hand free, slamming the locker shut with a loud clang. As I stumbled away from locker 333, my heart racing, I realized that some mysteries were never meant to be solved. The curse of that locker was real, and it had marked me. I left the school that day, vowing never to return, haunted by the knowledge that I had come face to face with something beyond understanding. It was the middle of the school year, and rumors were spreading about a new teacher who had recently joined our school. They said he was strict and had a reputation for being particularly hard on students who misbehaved. But it wasn't his teaching style that made him infamous. It was his mysterious disappearance. One day, during math class, the new teacher was lecturing at the front of the room. I was struggling to keep up, but as I glanced up from my notebook, I froze. The teacher's form flickered as if he was glitching in and out of existence. I rubbed my eyes, thinking it was just my imagination. But when I looked again, the teacher was gone. The entire class erupted into whispers and gasps. and we all turned to the empty space where he had been standing just moments ago. The principal was called, and an announcement was made that the teacher had fallen ill and would be on leave. But the whispers continued. Some said they saw him vanish before their eyes, while others claimed he had never existed in the first place. Weeks passed, and the substitute teacher became a permanent fixture in our classroom. The school administration refused to discuss the matter, leaving us to wonder what had truly happened to the vanished teacher. Every now and then, when I'm walking the school halls, I can't help but glance around. Half, expecting him to reappear just as mysteriously as he had disappeared. In my old school, there was a legend about the phantom janitor. It was said that he was a janitor who had worked there decades ago, but he died under mysterious circumstances. People claimed they saw him late at night, pushing his cleaning cart and mumbling to himself. I didn't pay much attention to the story until one day. I stayed late for a study session with a friend. As we were leaving, we heard the squeak of a cleaning cart's wheels and the sound of footsteps echoing down the empty hallway. My friend joked, maybe it's the phantom janitor. We turned the corner, and there he was. An old man in janitorial clothes, pushing his cart. He didn't seem to notice us as he muttered to himself. We exchanged nervous glances and hurried past him, trying to shake off the eerie feeling. A few weeks later, I was alone in the school's basement, looking for some old textbooks. As I searched through dusty shelves, I heard a soft, raspy voice behind me. Clean it all. I spun around, heart racing, and saw the phantom janitor standing there, a mop in his hand. His eyes were vacant, his expression distant. I stumbled backward, dropping the books I was holding, and ran out of the basement as fast as I could. I told my friends about the encounter, but they laughed it off. They said it was just a custodian doing his job. But I knew what I saw, and I never went into that basement alone again. The legend of the phantom janitor had become a chilling reality for me.